Hey everyone, it's Mason with HerbRally. Today we're here with Madelaine Au, and Madelaine is the executive director of the Eugene Tea Festival, and I also believe you're the operations manager at Young Mountain Tea.
Yes.
So we're here in the venue for the upcoming Eugene Tea Festival, which is, what's the date of that?
It's Sunday, May 21st, which is International Tea Day.
Good timing. And this is at the Eugene Farmers Market Pavilion.
It's the Farmers Market Pavilion. It was recently built last year, so we're very excited to be in this space. And as you can see, it's this beautiful wooden kind of greenhouse structure, so it's perfect for a tea festival.
Just to get a little more background about you, I'm very curious, how did you get into tea and tea culture and all that?
Yeah, I sort of like fell down the rabbit hole of tea through tea festivals. I attended the 2017 Northwest Tea Festival. It's kind of close to my birthday, and so I was like celebrating, went to the festival, got super caffeinated, and just kind of like it opened this whole new world of tea for me. And I made all these connections while I was there, just like talking to vendors and like meeting up with different people afterwards, and it just sort of sparked this journey for me of being like, wow, tea is super cool. There's so many different types. It's just kind of like this wonderland of knowledge and experience, and also there's an amazing community behind it. And that's really what drew me into tea, was the tea community. So that's why I'm here, because I love tea and I love community.
I love it. I've been to the Portland Tea Festival a couple times, and I totally know that vibe that you're talking about. And yes, and then after drinking green tea for 10 straight hours or whatever, you definitely start to get that buzz. But then the buzz of the community definitely adds to that whole thing. I'm from Eugene, so I'm super excited that there's going to be a tea festival here as well. I got to give you props. I don't know if you consider him a mutual friend, but my buddy Brian met you on, I want to say it like a business class at Lane Community College, perhaps?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, you gotta meet Madelaine. She's like, she's very driven and go-getter and all that stuff. And then I remember we met for tea, and you were dreaming this all up, and I want to say it was either 2018 or 2019.
Yeah.
And then you got a board together, and you've just been working on this, and then COVID happened.
Yeah.
But all the long while, you've been organizing and just keeping it rolling, keeping it going. It's just super impressive. So unfortunately, Amanda and I will not be here to actually attend the event, but it sounds like you got a lot of amazing things brewing. Since this is like an herbal audience, can you just kind of let us know what is Camellia sinensis, or what is tea that we're talking about?
Well, and honestly, like the Eugene Tea Festival is for the herbalism community as well. It's not just specialty tea, it's not just Camellia sinensis, it's gonna encompass like whatever you think of tea, kombucha, tea bags, like, you know, peppermint herbs, tinctures, blends, all the tea, like it's all inclusive. So I'm really excited to just bring as many like local businesses in the area that are doing things that are kind of like tea related or tea adjacent to just come in celebration and community. But to answer your question about Camellia sinensis, that is, I mean, I don't want to sound pretentious, but it's kind of what they call like true tea, or like, because like tea came from China, and that's where Camellia sinensis is grown. I think one of the things that people don't realize is that most caffeinated tea all comes from the same plant, which is either Camellia sinensis variety sinensis or Camellia sinensis variety assamica. So black tea, yellow tea, white tea, green tea, oolong tea, that's all from the same plant. It's just processed in different ways. Also pu'er, which is fermented.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, I love pu'er. And each tea kind of gives you like a different experience, has a different flavor, but it all comes from the same plant. So it's a super long tradition for Camellia sinensis. It's been processed for, I want to say like thousands of years, because like it's been around since like the inception of Buddhism, basically. And not to get too much into the historical, but
Please,
like
yeah. part
of like how tea spread was through Buddhist monks. They kind of popularized it because it was one of the, you know, it's like a beverage that you steep in hot water, so it's safer. And it was a counter beverage to alcohol. So like initially everybody was using alcohol as a social beverage, and alcohol was safe because of like the way that it's produced. Because water was not as safe. You kind of had to like do something to it to make it safer. But tea was perfect for monks because it keeps you alert, so you can just meditate for like 12 hours or however long they're meditating for, and you're not being inebriated. Your mind is like, you're having clarity and enlightenment, and so it was just the perfect beverage for that particular religion and time, and that's how it spread and became super popularized. And I feel like, because Buddhism has spread to a lot of different places, and then like the English fell in love with tea and they spread it out to a whole bunch of different places, there's just kind of been this historical trend of tea becoming something that in most parts of the country, except for the US, it's like ubiquitous. Like it's like drinking water. Everybody drinks tea. We're a little bit more coffee focused here in the US, but that's changing.
It is, and there's also yerba mate is becoming more and more popular. I do want to say pretentiousness is not absent in the herbal community, so I also want to say some people call it tisane. Have you ever heard that term before? Is that for like an herbal tea? Infusions, decoctions.
Exactly.
But yes, I consider the true tea Camellia sinensis. Speaking of like pu'er and whatnot, can you name your favorite 3 teas?
Yeah. So I am a sucker for Japanese senchas. That is just like my number 1 tea. I just had a cup before coming here. And then the second one would be Taiwanese oolongs, particularly like roasty, kind of honey. I am currently in love with like an Alishan Black, and have been drinking that for like
That sounds pretentious.
several months. It's it's a mountainous region in Taiwan. It's delicious. It's sweet.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's really great. And then as a third one, I feel like I would have to just pick like lighter, greener oolongs. Maybe 4th place goes to white tea.
Is that what's like a spring green? Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Kind of like
there?
Tiguanyin, lighter oolong, baozhong would be another style. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different types of tea within each category, and some of them are like kind of well known. Like some people might be familiar with baozhong oolong, but also maybe not.
Is that something you sell at Young Mountain?
No, those are all like Taiwanese.
Gotcha.
I mean, I really like Japanese and Taiwanese tea. That's kind of been my favorites. Yeah.
I got a pu'er at Block 15. What am I trying to say? Not Block 15. 16 tons. I got a pu'er at 16 tons earlier, and I was trying to explain to the cashier what the or to the server what the story of pu'er is. Do you know what that is? Because I feel like I butcher it every single time. It had something to do with like packing the tea into bricks and then traveling long distances, right? And then it kind of got fermented.
Yeah, so those pu'er bricks, they were best for traveling long distances. They were used as money. So they would exchange like pu'er bricks for horses. And that was like a whole trade that went on mostly between, I want to say like basically like the Hunan and then Mongolian area. They were having that trade going on with basically like the Hunan people wanting the horses and then the Mongolian people wanting the tea.
It's like money, basically.
Yeah, so
Very
it was
interesting.
used as money.
Okay.
And then also it's delicious, so it was very functional money.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, practical.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, let's hear a little bit more about the event. Like, I know you're, I don't know when this is going to go out, maybe next week or something, but as of now, you're still looking for vendors. I know that much. So,
Yes.
Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit more about the event? And,
Yeah, so the Eugene Tea Festival, this is going to be the basically indoor tasting area. So this is where the Pour Fest is happening. I'm hoping that we'll have like at least 30 vendors that come and are all pouring tea for people so that like people can just go through here and taste like as many teas as they want. And then we're also going to have like ceramic vendors, and we're going to have workshops going on at the Mountain Rose Herbs Annex. So it'll be a mixture of like marketplace style where you're able to just talk to vendors, explore, learn from them, and then also educational components as well with the free workshops that are happening. So,
do you have any solidified workshops yet, or is that kind of still in the works?
I do have solidified workshops. can I remember them off the top of my head? So the Shelton McMurphy Johnson House is going to do, they're going to talk about the history of Victorian tea.
That's cool.
And how it's connected to the suffragist movement. So I'm really excited for that workshop. We're definitely going to have like 101 on specialty tea, so just talking about like the different types, and then also doing a tasting. So for people who have never just like had all the types lined up, you can really see the differences between them. I feel like that's like a really important educational workshop that always has to happen at a tea festival. We're going to have a workshop on Indian tea. I think that we're going to have a workshop on basically like growing tea in Oregon, or just growing tea in the US, because we have Angela from Oregon Tea Traders, who is also the president for the US League of Tea Growers. So there's a lot of people who have already signed up to do workshops. I can't remember all of them, but a lot of the vendors that are going to be here are also going to be doing the workshops. And the way that I've set it up is Sunday is going to be the marketplace, and then Saturday and Sunday are going to be the workshop days. So that way vendors who are, want to do workshops on Saturday and then vend on Sunday can do that. And then vendors that have larger teams can do both days. But basically just making it more accessible, and also making it so that people have a chance to actually attend the workshops and make it fit in their schedule, and also have time to experience the festival.
When you said Mountain Rose Herbs, is that going to be at the Annex building? So it's also very close to here.
Yeah.
Earlier you were explaining something. Is that the traditional tea ceremony? Is that going to be happening at the event as well? Some sort of tea ceremony situation, or?
I mean, I am like leaving it up to the vendors as to like how they want to pour. I'm pretty sure that some of the vendors are going to want to do more traditional styles. Potentially like matcha ceremony, gung fu cha, those are kind of the classics. But also, I'm hoping we'll be able to do like a cupping style class as well.
Okay.
And have people just kind of see the full spread of what tea can be. I mean, there's so much that it's probably not possible to really display it all, but having as much variety as possible. Yeah. Are
you going to be doing one of your famous tea meditations?
I really want to, yes.
Okay.
But
She's 100% going to do it.
Well, because I'm also part of like the Eugene Insight Meditation Center group,
Okay.
So I'm going to try and get my teacher to help me. It'd be nice to have it be a collab. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to collaborate with the EIMC nonprofit and have it be something that's not just me.
There you go.
But yeah.
See, what else do they want to know? Yeah, I would say if you're interested in sponsoring, there's probably still room for some sponsors, still room for vendors.
Yep.
Whether you live in Eugene or not, even if you're in the Oregon Northwest area, I definitely recommend coming if you can.
If you go to eugeneteafest.org, the pre-sale tickets are up. So if you're wanting to support the event early, you're wanting to get early access to workshops, I definitely recommend registering now, because that way you'll get all the festival updates and you'll get priority access to the workshops. Because I don't really have any other way of telling people once they're up live unless people have already signed up. I want it to be a wellness festival, so it's really about connection, coming together, creating new connections, and then also basically like inspiring people to slow down and to really be intentional with how they're living their lives. So I do want there to be meditation, I want there to be art, I want there to be sort of an emphasis on active transportation. So for people who are local to Eugene, biking here, walking from here to the Annex, because it's like maybe a 15-minute walk, probably less, but really just encouraging people to take it easy, slow down, have a good time, no need to rush, just kind of savor and take it all in.
I love it.
And then also like working with other nonprofits that have a similar mission. So I've been like talking to Art City and also BEST, which is Better Eugene Springfield Transportation. And we're gonna do a bike ride to the festival. So kind of like gathering people together and having those elements be part of the festival too.
That's so cool. I want to say you did a bike ride with them last year too.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us and letting us know about the Eugene Tea Festival. I'm
Thanks for having
super
me,
excited to
Mason.
not get to come to it this time, but next time we'll get to be here hopefully. And thanks again, and Bye.
Yeah.
See you later.
Thanks so much.